stumble in the dark. You kept pushing on, but then you went too far. When your ship has sailed and all your dreams are lost, everything is wrong, you feel like it's your fault. Just remember, I will be there for you, baby. Remember, there's nothing out there to get you, don't forget it. When life throws lemons, just call me. Just call me. Just call me. Just call me. You're stronger now than you ever been. You gotta leave now, it's time to catch the wind. You will climb up high and look through the clouds. And when you're feeling low, I know you'll bounce back. Oh, and just remember, I will be there for you, baby. Remember, there's nothing out there to get you, don't forget it. When life throws lemons, just call me. Just call me. Just call me. Just call me.
After the Thanksgiving holiday and a race at the biggest track on the NASCAR circuit, we come to one of the smaller ones. It is the Nashville Fairgrounds Speedway in Nashville, Tennessee, tonight for the Nashville Throwback 420 here in the SCL International Series. Good evening, everybody. My name is Frank Marchese. Thank you very much for making us a part of your evening. Alongside me, my broadcast partner, Daniel Paulus Jr. Daniel, 2 weeks ago, we saw a great race. We saw a guy who really was looking for a win, snap that streak, finally get the win. But here tonight, it's going to be a completely different ball game, just as difficult as Talladega, but for completely different reasons.
Going from the biggest track 2 weeks ago, now coming to the shortest track here at Nashville Fairgrounds, a new track that I have never been to. Very excited to see what happens here tonight.
It is going to be a very tricky race here tonight. You're going to have to really work the throttle, be patient coming off the corners because there are some bumps out there that are going to be looking to get you on corner exit. We'll take a look now at the point standings here. Lilith Peters, after her very poor finish 2 weeks ago at Talladega, comes into Nashville, comes into the final 4 rounds of the season with just a singular point lead over Michael Matta, 1,174 to 1,146. That third place battle with Justin Lewis and Trevor Dalton is also close. Just 2 points separate those two. Who said you can't get a tight points battle late in the season with the old NASCAR system?
Well, it's going to be a very tight points battle here tonight because, Lilith Peters can be winning here tonight, extending that lead, or she can fall back to second and allow Michael Matta to take that lead. And tempers do flare here at these short tracks, so it's going to be kind of very interesting to see what these drivers can do here tonight.
It's going to be 125 laps here tonight at the Nashville Super Speedway. And what we are going to do now is we are going to bring in the man who finished third last week at Talladega, Steven Johnson. Steven, are you there? I don't believe he is. Now, the reason why we're bringing Steven in is because we had a DQ issue at Talladega last week where one of the drivers, I believe it was the driver who finished second, was actually DQ'd as he crossed the lines, finished back in the 24th position, and Steven Johnson was promoted up to that second place finishing position. Now, Steven, I believe, second chance, we got you?
Hey, can you hear me?
Yep, there he is. We got you. All right, so third place at Talladega 2 weeks ago after the DQ, but still a solid run there at Talladega 2 weeks ago. How are you going to translate that here to the very tight short track at Nashville?
Well, honestly, I don't even know. My skills really don't seem to translate over to short tracks. I'm more of a big track racer here. But hopefully I can make something happen tonight, avoid some of the wrecks, and try to stay careful on this ice out here.
Yeah, how difficult has this track been to start learning and start coming to grips with it? This car has a lot more power than what this track is usually put to the test with.
Yeah, it's really tough, especially coming out of two. That's where it's usually the most shaky, just trying to be careful, kind of cresting onto the straightaway there. But yeah, it's gonna be pretty dicey, to be honest. Hopefully we can keep it together and get some green flag runs going.
All right, Steven, best of luck to you as we're about to get into the qualifying session, and hope to be talking to you again at the end of 125 laps.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
So that was last week's third place finisher, Steven Johnson, and we are now getting into the qualifying session. 21 drivers set to compete here tonight. You're going to see a driver at the bottom of the timing and scoring pylon. That will be Matt Peltier. He is going to be in race control here for this race tonight, signed up as a driver instead of joining up to spectate. So you'll see him on the timing and scoring pylon all night as we see Barrett Flo about to begin his first lap, and you can see only a half a mile, but quite a bit of banking here to help these drivers get around these corners.
Half a mile racetrack here, 18-degree banking in all turns here as well. As you can tell, you see the 92 there of Barrett Flo running in that middle groove on his qualifying session.
Bottom line is not necessarily going to be the place to be. As you heard Steven Johnson mention, it is quite bumpy out there, especially in the exit of turn 2, as we see Derek Wegman, who currently sits on pole, the time of 18.73. See what he can do here on lap number 2. It will be an 18.73. Barrett Flo gets back up to the top at an 18.65, so a good time for him. As we see Eric Schaus, only 5 minutes of qualifying here around a half a mile racetrack. That means these laps are going to come thick and fast.
Laps are going to go down fast here at Nashville Fairgrounds. Here's the 7 car of Justin Lewis, having a really good season so far.
Lewis in that top 5 battle, in the battle for third place in points, and Lewis, 5th on the timing and scoring sheet, advances, betters his time, but not his position. Here's Steven Johnson. Saw the car he's running, the Dale Earnhardt homage here at Nashville. Going to be seeing a lot of throwback schemes, throwback races all week. You have the late model stock and the street stock series tomorrow night at Hickory. And the Super Truck Series on Wednesday night will be at Hickory as well, as we see Ronnie Hurst, the man who was knocked out of that second position at Talladega. And Hurst with an invalid first lap.
Our points leader, Lilith Peters in the one machine, currently fourth with an 1869. And second place in the points right now, Michael Matta in that 16 machine is currently 11th with an 1884, with only 1 point separating them for taking the lead.
Tenths off between those two as we see last week's winner, Johnathan Casebere, out on the track. Is that his last name in the Budweiser logo is what I'm seeing? It looks like it. Very, very, very well done there, Johnathan, as he goes to 15th quickest on his first lap. I get the distinct feeling that he does not care where he finishes here tonight because he's still very much on that high of the win 2 weeks ago, one that he's fought so hard to get and finally was able to nail down.
See the 8 car making his run in the qualifying session with just a minute 16 to go here.
Josh Tarrant-Hill, Adam Lowe on track, as well as Austin Call. These three should get both of their lap times in no problem. As Josh Tarrant-Hill will go 16th quickest. Adam Lowe in a Dodge Challenger here tonight. 10th quickest on his first lap. We'll see what he can do here on lap number 2. He will be just about 100th of a second off of where he set his first time, as now we'll take a look at Austin Call. First lap down for Call, up to P6 at an 1873.
Austin Call 2 weeks ago leading the white flag at Talladega. Unfortunately, didn't get back to the line on that last lap, but really strong performance from this 18 car.
Strong performance here in qualifying. He will start inside the top 10 as everyone has gone out and attempted to qualify. Ronnie Hurst and Joshua Yarborough not putting down valid lap time, so Barrett Flo will take the pole here tonight to kick off this race. And what a job by car number 92 here as we flip on over into the night here at the Nashville Fairgrounds. Barrett Flo at a time of 18.655 will take the pole over Maxwell Caldwell by 3/1000ths of a second. Johnny Wood Jr. missing out on pole in the inside of row number 2 by 5/1000ths of a second. Lilith Peters will line up next to him in row number 2. Justin Lewis and Austin Call will make up row number 3. Derek Wegman and Eric Schaus in row 4. Row 5 will see Matthew McMeekin and Steven Johnson. Adam Lowe and Trevor Dalton will make up row number 6. Row 7 goes to Michael Matta and Chad Jones. Brendan Kornoyer and Todd Merkel will sit in row 8. Row 9 will see Josh Tarrant-Hill and Johnathan Casebere. Raymond Kimmel and Ronnie Hurst will make up row number 10, and Joshua Yarborough will line up in the final position here tonight. Again, Matt Peltier and admin here tonight for the series. Weather conditions coming into tonight's race. We are just shy of 8 o'clock p.m. in sim time. Track temperature is 79 degrees, ambient temperature 76 degrees. That's not the biggest issue, though. The biggest issue is the wind, 10 miles an hour blowing out to the west, which would mean a crosswind down the straightaways and pushing a little bit on those left rear corners going down into turn number 1. That could make this tricky, especially now that we're seeing this wind start to gust up to 13 miles an hour. This track is an ice rink for these drivers already. That's not going to make it easier.
Not going to make it easy at all. And also, if you're starting in the back of the pack, it's going to be very hard to get up to the front, because I've started in the back on these short tracks. And let me tell you, it's not fun.
Certainly is not. as we will take a look here down pit road, still waiting on a couple of drivers to get going here, as we will have 21 competitors looking to take the green flag here tonight. And what a night it is expected to be. It's going to be a quick night if everything goes to plan. Again, only 125 laps around this racetrack, getting around at the same time as they do Bristol. So this could be a very short or a very long night for these drivers, and I'm sure drivers are preparing for both.
Preparing for both, indeed. We can have a long green flag run all the way from start to finish, or we're going to have a caution fest. We're going to have to find out here, but I know these drivers are very excited to go going green.
It's been the trickier tracks that these drivers have tended to succeed at here. We mentioned off air before we got on here that we were expecting a caution fest at Twin Ring Motegi, because that's what these drivers were preparing for, and how they were talking about how much they hate the racetrack. We went caution free there, so anything can happen, especially here in this series, as Barrett Flo leads the field down onto the racetrack for the 2 pace laps that we will get here. Again, a racetrack shorter than a mile on iRacing. You get 2 formation laps. As we are getting set to go, it's going to be a fantastic night here in Nashville.
Very excited to get going here. You see on the first row, 92 on the inside, that's Barrett Flo. On the outside of him is the 94 of Maxwell Caldwell, also having a very strong season.
So, we are a half a mile away from getting going. Final push to the end of the season. Season ends on the 18th of December. Just 4 more races to go as this race gets started here tonight. Daniel, let's get her going.
All right, race fans, we're here at Nashville Fairgrounds.
Oh, maybe not.
Running an extra lap.
They get us with this every single week. You'd figured we'd learn at some point. Lights were off, so I figured that would have been the telltale. Or it usually is the telltale. Looks like a couple of drivers have asked for an EOL here tonight. Austin Call, Brendan Kornoyer, Raymond Kimmel, and Michael Matta have all asked to start at the back of the field here tonight. So that will move Ronnie Hurst and Joshua Yarborough into the mid-teens as we get set to go. Now, Daniel, you can take us away.
All right, it's showtime. 92 Barrett Flo on the inside, 94 Maxwell Caldwell on the outside. Let's go racing at the fairgrounds, boys.
Great run into the corner by Maxwell Caldwell, but it's going to be Barrett Flo and Caldwell catching up into that outside wall. Caution is going to come out. That one's not for Caldwell. That is, in fact, for the 39 of Derek Wegman, who had spun in the back.
Don't see any significant damage on the 39 there. Take a look at this replay.
Wegman in that tide ride on the inside. Oh, just caught that bump, and it's the bump that we were talking about. See that car? We'll show you this replay from this same angle one more time. Watch this car bounce. Coming back up and out of the corner. Right there. That will snap you around every single time.
Unfortunately, I think we're going to see a lot more drivers go over that bump, and it's going to spin them around too. But here on lap 3, first caution of the night out of 125 here.
Now, you'd think to yourself, well, if they know the bump is there and they know it's so much trouble, Why not just ignore it? Why not just avoid it? Or at least you know what to do to get over it without spinning the car. It's not that simple, is it, Daniel? You're a race car driver. You're trying to get as many positions as you possibly can, as early as you can. Sometimes you push that edge to get that extra little bit of that extra inch on the other driver.
And you see these drivers on the inside line, they're probably not going to want to go over that bump, but sometimes they have no other option than to go over that because they can't get to the outside line, or they're trying to get the race lead here, and they think maybe if they throttle it a little more, they can get around the outside lane. Unfortunately, that bump's just there. There's nothing you can do about that. There's going to be drivers that are hoping maybe they get over that bump and nothing happens to them. But unfortunately, something did happen with 39 of Wegman, and it did snap his car around. So it's very unfortunate for him.
Everyone else appeared to be okay coming out of that. What we will do is we'll take a look as well at the start, because we saw Maxwell Caldwell get up into that outside wall here on the start. As we're following along, Caldwell gets a good lead into the corner. Flo beats him out, and again just pushed a little bit too hard, caught the wall by the slightest of margins, and a little bit of right front damage on car number 94. That might hurt him here in the early stages of this race. Again, fast repair for this series still in effect. Fortunately for him, this is not too much of an aero-dependent racetrack like Talladega 2 weeks ago.
I don't think it's going to affect him much here, like you said. Now, if we were on a super speedway, it would affect him probably a lot. But we're here at a short circuit, so I don't see anything wrong there. As you see the field coming out of turn 4, getting ready to go back green here.
Green flag coming out here on lap number 7. It gets to complete a full green flag lap at the moment. Flo getting the better restart this time, and he will be able to clear Maxwell Caldwell coming out of turn number 2. Caldwell looking to the inside, though, and he will get that inside look. Car 94 to the race lead, fastest in practice, up to the point, leads the first full green flag lap of the night.
Caldwell leading the pack in turns 1 and 2 with the 92 of Barrett Flo now falling back to second. Right behind him is the 750 of Johnny Wood Jr.
Lilith Peters getting beaten and banged around up on that outside line. A little bit of contact with the 27 of Trevor Dalton. Around goes the 60 of Eric Schaus. And that will be caution number 2. We have these moments.
Eric Schaus getting loose out of turn 3 there. Car comes around, nothing he can do. It's that inside wall. It looks like he will come down pit road here to get service.
Something else we'll discuss here tonight a little bit later on, that pit road. So it is a very intriguing one. As just got loose coming out of 4 and into the fence he got. Now we don't have the same leniency here as we do at other tracks. We run into these situations all the time where a single car spin, they go off the track. It's far enough away from the racing surface or the racing line that iRacing won't throw the caution. Well, it's not the case here at Nashville tonight, so any little incident most likely will bring a grinding halt to this race.
Second caution of the night here. Lap 11 out of 125. So far, we had 2 cars having incidents here tonight, Frank. We had the 39 of Wegman running over the bump in turn 2, spinning him around, and now you see the 60 of Schaus in turn 4, getting very loose and spinning himself out into the inside wall.
And patience is going to be key here tonight as Caldwell elects to take the outside line here for this restart. Patience does translate into speed. As 27-7 playing a little game amongst themselves on the outside line. So they will line up as they typically start. here tonight, well, as they have typically started here tonight. However, Caldwell is the man in control on that outside line. Pace car dives off into pit road, getting set to send them around for the third time here tonight. Green flag is in the air. Caldwell with a great jump. Justin Lewis gets through as well. Barrett Flo just does hang on to the inside of car number 7.
Top 2 going to be cleared of third place there. Barrett Flo now falling back to third place there. You see the 27 of Dalton now battling for 4th place with the 750 of Johnny Wood Jr.
It looks squeaky clean just outside the top 10. There's Todd Merkel running with Johnathan Casebere. Casebere with Josh Tarrant-Hill below him, and Tarrant-Hill takes the big hop. Oh, Barrett Flo also went around as well to bring out our third caution of the night. Saw that big leap that Josh Tarrant-Hill had coming out of the second corner. Same must be said for Barrett Flo as well in car number 92. Let's take a look and see here what happened first with Josh Tarrant-Hill. Joshua Yarborough in the 77. Watch the jump. See it right when that car bottoms out. Noses into the wall, keeps it straight. But here is what the cause of the caution was. This is Barrett Flo running up in third. We had just left these two. Oh, he got help. Help he certainly had. So on board of Johnny Wood Jr. Just the slightest of touches. And especially around a track as slick as this one is, Daniel, it doesn't take much more than that to send one of these guys around.
It's not going to take much here tonight, it looks like, here from the fairgrounds. Maxwell Caldwell got involved in an incident, ran on that outside line, collected himself into the outside wall. Minimum damage. So far, so good for him. Running first, right behind him is the 7 of Justin Lewis, who's been in the top 5 for most of the night here so far. And right behind him is the 27 of Dalton, which makes his way up to the top 3 tonight here.
Justin Lewis got into second place with the beneficiary of that start from Maxwell Caldwell. He is not going to get the same benefit this time by, as I believe Johnny Wood Jr. now will serve his EOL for causing an incident.
It's going to be very hard for him to make his way through the pack up to the front without getting involved in an incident tonight.
Standard penalty here in this series. You cause an incident, you go to the back. So we thank the 2 men who probably get the most nonsense out of this series. Carol Estelle, and tonight Matt Peltier for being race control here tonight. Who doesn't love hearing a driver bark at you after a questionable call?
I don't know who does, but it doesn't bother me.
Maxwell Caldwell once again choosing that outside line. Steven Johnson, who we spoke to before this race started, doesn't get quite that much benefit from Caldwell's restart. Green flag back in the air.
Caldwell having an excellent restart there with the 7 Justin Lewis all over him, trying that outside lane there, getting in turn 3 and 4. Gonna see if he can get a run here.
Justin Lewis just in front of Trevor Dalton, now who clears Steven Johnson for that third position. Todd Merkel's been working his way up quietly here thus far. A couple of incidents and a couple of black flags helping him get up through the field, but he is +7 tonight, one of the biggest movers in that Merkel Racing Engines car number 2. Battling with Austin Call down to his inside. Now Call tucks back in.
Loving these throwback paint schemes. You saw one on the 44 machine. That was the Good Wrench scheme. Looking very nice. You can see the Budweiser on the 6 of Casebere with his name on it.
A little bit further back, we got some more battling here. This is around 16th, 17th, 18th. There's the 16 of Michael Matta. Josh Tarrant Hill just under him. Johnny Wood Jr. trying to work his way back up through the field. Ronnie Hurst, Barrett Flo trying to do the same, as well as the 55 of Brendan Cornoyer in this group as well. It's back up towards the front here. We have Matthew McMeekin looking to the inside of Lilith Peters to get into the top 5. And will do.
McMeekin, we haven't seen him up front in a few of these races in the second half of the season. Very nice to see him up here in the top 10.
Off the back of Matthew McMeekin, looking towards Adam Lowe. Car number 58, Chad Jones as well, getting around Lilith Peters. As Justin Lewis starting to put a little bit of pressure on Maxwell Caldwell up here for the lead, and I think part of that is because he's getting pressure put on him by Trevor Dalton. He wants to move.
Trevor Dalton is putting pressure on the 7 of Justin Lewis, and that is what's going to make him try to make a move here on the 94 of Caldwell. As you see the top 3 pulling away a little bit. Right there in 4th place, if anything happens, is Steven Johnson just waiting to get that lead.
More or less single filed out here through the field. Derek Wegman getting past Raymond Kimmel just a moment ago. Everyone else now single file as these guys can start to set in, start logging laps, start avoiding those bumps, and really start to hunker down for the long haul here at Nashville.
Now that we're running green flag runs now, I feel like these drivers are in their zone right now. They're seeing how their car is handling. They know how to get around this racetrack without being under caution every 2 or 3 laps. So I think that's what the advantage is here during these long green flag runs if we stay green.
It's like it also has the potential to be a vintage night for that number 94 of Caldwell. Very, very quick around these short tracks is car number 94. Again, 2-time series champion here for Caldwell. He's right back in his element right now in that 94 car. Up here in front, controlling this field. Justin Lewis and Trevor Dalton also starting to pull away from Steven Johnson and Matthew McMeekin.
7 car for Justin Lewis, looking for different options, using those different grooves, trying to see how his car is handling, trying to get around the 94 right now here on lap 33.
A little bit further back, that's Austin Call looking for position on Lilith Peters. And Call right down on that bottom. You don't quite want to be down on that bottom, but boy, it's proving to be the dominant line here tonight as the outside line, even with the higher banking and the speed and momentum, just not working for the drivers that are up there.
Looking at Austin Call, he was using that inside line, and he is gaining positions on track. So he's found something that the other drivers aren't finding right now, and he's having a really good night so far.
Not sure if Lilith Peters is just trying to preserve that car a little bit. She has fallen back from 4th place starting spot now, just about to fall out of the top 10. She's running in 9th. Johnny Wood Jr. was up in the top 5. He got an EOL penalty for causing the last caution. And Wood now working his way back up. Started stone dead last, started 20th. He's worked his way back up to 13th here on this green flag run.
Another driver moving up into the top 10 is the 39 of Wegman. Got involved in an incident earlier on. moving through the field very quick, very easily as he's making his laps around here.
Johnathan Casebere starting to fall back a little bit, getting passed by the 39. Now the 750, the 77 of Joshua Yarborough appears to be the next one. Everything remaining status quo up here at the front. Maxwell Caldwell still in control. Justin Lewis running in second. Trevor Dalton in third. About a second gap or so back to Steven Johnson in the 44. Matthew McMeekin there as well. That is your top five, and then it's a second and a half back to this quartet here is now Chad Jones looking to lead the line if his connection holds stable enough. Trying to lead the line now ahead of Adam Lowe.
Austin Ball taking position away from the 75 there of Jones.
Call started in the 6th position here tonight. Remember, he took an EOL at the start to start from the back of the field. So Call really up here racing for the first time, as there is your front three. We work lap 42 of 125 here from the Nashville Fairgrounds Speedway in Nashville, Tennessee. You are watching the Nashville Throwback 420 here for the SCL International Winston Cup Series right here on SRM. Back here at the Nashville Fairgrounds, you saw Justin Lewis during the break get a nice little run on Maxwell Caldwell, then fall back by about a half a second. now, Daniel, he is right back on the rear bumper of that number 94.
When we were on commercial break, we did see the 7 of Justin Lewis get loose out turn 4, but now he's gaining ground once again on the 94 of Caldwell. These laps are clicking very fast, so he's going to have to try and get around him to possibly take this lead and hold on to the lead to get the win.
Now, you mentioned the laps are ticking by, and usually when laps tick by around a racetrack like this, that typically means pit stops are going to be coming, and not all that far away, I am sure, for these drivers. Take a look down on the inside next time we go around. It's a very, very interesting pit road here. Think of the pit road at the Milwaukee Mile, where it's just an opening in the wall. Let's bring the standings up so you can see. It's pretty much the same thing, except it's on a curve. That little tire bundle there that you just saw, that is pit road entry. It's just an opening in the wall, so these drivers are going to have to be very precise, not only on the track while they're racing, but to get off of it in order to pit.
Unfortunately, it is very tricky here at the fairgrounds to get onto pit road, and if we have too many drivers coming down at once, I'm afraid there might be a wreck. And if there's a wreck and we stay green here, you're going to go a lap down. A lap or two down, unfortunately. But you want to try to avoid that. You want to go in there very slow and smooth and hopefully don't run into each other.
Seems like a very wide opening here on this long shot. However, it is very narrow when you're in the car here. A little bit further back, this quartet still rides strong as Adam Lowe, Austin Call, Lilith Peters, and Chad Jones still battle away for that 6th position, with no one really being able to get the upper hand. And I have a feeling that because the 75 of Jones was blinking, he was forced to give up those spots that we saw him lose a little bit earlier on.
Another driver I want to point out is the 41 of McMeekin. You know, he's doing really good here. He's in the top 5. He's actually staying in the top 5. He's not going anywhere. So if he doesn't go in, at least get top 3 or top 5, that will be an amazing run here for the 41 machine, because we haven't seen him up front in the second half of the season, and it's a shame. But, you know, if he could get a good run here tonight, that would be really good for him.
Matthew McMeekin, we saw him right on the back end the last time we saw him of Steven Johnson. Now, McMeekin hasn't necessarily fallen off as much as Johnson has started to move forward. As there you see Brendan Cornoyer down at the bottom of the screen moving out of the way of Maxwell Caldwell. The top 3 last time around were all in the 19.5s. Steven Johnson was in the 19.4s, so he is starting to move and catch this front pack more so than McMeekin falling away and losing the tail.
Possibly he was saving his tires a little more, so then when these drivers do have some tire wear off, he can move forward by, you know, pressing a little harder there. As you see, we're on board here at the 44 machine, running that good wrench throwback scheme to the Dale Earnhardt Sr.
Lap traffic is certainly going to start to play a factor here in this race, as Maxwell Caldwell has really now caught the back end of this field, coming up on the 412 of Raymond Kimmel. It's already put Brendan Cornoyer and Josh Tarrant-Hill a lap down. Justin Lewis looking to the inside. Not quite close enough to make the move, though.
Looking to the inside, but I expect a lot more of that later on in this race. You see the 7 now running that high line, trying to get a good run here off the corner exit.
Try to straight line the corner exit as much as he can to get that speed boost off at the expense of corner entry and a little bit of time. Abandons that after one attempt. It's now a half a second back, and we've seen a couple of cars, Cornoyer and now Raymond Kimmel, dive out of the way of Maxwell Caldwell, so not necessarily going to help Justin Lewis that these cars are playing very, very nicely as they're coming up to be lapped. However, there is a trio of cars up in the distance fighting for position. 94
car going to start putting drivers a lap down here. As you see, the 6 there battling side by side. The 60 of Schaus got involved in an incident earlier. You see the 6 now losing positions to the 60, and now the 16 here. If the 16 of Michael Matta can now get it around, as you see he does coming out of turn 4.
60 of Eric Schaus was the cause of the second caution here in this race. He was on pit road repairing damage and unfortunately did not get out in time. So Schaus has been a lap down since about lap 15. As now we see Caldwell start to catch up to the back of Casebere, Matta, and Schaus, as Ronnie Hurst has been dispatched of, and in that dispatching of the 22 has broken this front battle up into 2 pairs, Caldwell versus Lewis, and now Dalton versus Johnson here, your battle for third.
Steven Johnson, the 44 machine, now closing in on 27 of Trevor Dalton for third place, as you see the 7 and 94 pulling away from third place now.
Race it has been here tonight already. Only 3 cautions here. We've had a very, very long run here at Nashville. A good 50 or so laps these guys have done under green. As we see Austin Call has gotten once again up to the back end of Adam Lowe. Chad Jones has gotten past Lilith Peters, as has Johnny Wood Jr., who again, after the EOL for causing the last caution, moving his way back up. So the quartet has added a 5th member here, as this is 6th through 10th on the track.
Lilith Peters now falling to that 10th position. One more spot, she falls back. She's outside the top 10. Remember, Frank, she started inside the top 5, so very unfortunate for the one of Lilith Peters falling back, but at least she's in the top 10.
Absolutely. We'll take a ride on board with her here in car number 1. See how much she's moving that wheel. You wouldn't think too much, especially with how long this run has been. Mostly on corner exit would be your problem, and she's been pretty calm on that wheel, at least it looks like. So she's not fighting the car too much. Just as you do sometimes, just doesn't have the pace here tonight.
18 of Austin Call there, making a move to the inside. He's gonna slide up the track a little bit, but they're gonna be side by side. You see the 18 now getting a little loose out turn 2.
Oh, contact, big contact between the 58.
Oh,
hard into the outside wall. That will be caution number 4. And Frank and Kimmel had nowhere to go. As that will spell an end, at least to the competitive night of Adam Lowe. He does have the fast repair, but he will be a lap down now, certainly. As under caution for the first time since about lap 25 here this evening. Actually, first time since lap 16.
Wow.
We've been under caution, and now very quickly everyone makes their dive into pit road.
Everybody's going to get some fuel here, get 4 Goodyear tires, and get ready for this restart. And I bet these drivers are thankful that there was a caution, because I'm sure they were nervous coming down pit road under green, because, you know, we don't know how that was going to go. But I bet they're thankful that this caution did come out. As you see the 94 there, again, his service done.
And Justin Lewis is going to win the race off of pit road. At least that's what it looked like to me. Well, he may have nosed out ahead. See what happens as they get back onto the racetrack. And yes, he in fact did. So Justin Lewis will take over the race lead. Take a look and see what happened here that brought out this caution. As again, see 18 made a dive. He's definitely there. Contact, and boy, the 58. That car, oof. Bit at the wrong time. for Adam Lowe. See it again here. A little bit of contact there, and it was that contact from Call, what looked like Call moving up, that brought him sideways.
It was just a racing incident. I do see this a lot on these short tracks. It does happen to multiple drivers. As you see, we're on board here, coming out turn 2, heading down the back straightaway. You see the 58 on the outside there, makes a little contact on the quarter panel. That makes the 18 of Austin Call loose. Unfortunately, the 58 of Adam Lowe did not have the better end of the stick on that one. Ended up on the outside wall. As you see, the 18 keeps it straight.
On board of Raymond Kimmel here. Now, Kimmel had just come out of pit road not that long ago. There's the spin. He sees it. And,
well, I think he was going to try to go beneath him.
Yeah, I mean, I understand not wanting to spin the car on the apron or on the transition on the bottom, but I don't know, looked like he kind of drove right into the door. And wouldn't you know, Michael Matta did not pit under that caution. So he is your race leader. Matta will get 5 bonus points for leading a lap that Lilith Peters right now does not have. And Matta gets himself some great track position as we are back to green flag racing here at the fairgrounds. Justin Lewis, though, on 78 lap pressure tires, is going to take the lead, though.
Lewis takes the lead here. He's 16 of Michael Matta, remember, was second in the championship points, only 1 point separating him and Lilith Peters. Right now, he's 16 in second place. Oh! Contact in the back of the pack.
Some more contact coming up as well, I'm sure. As everyone now running side by side, getting a little bit later on into this race as well. Steven Johnson has gotten around Trevor Dalton as the caution comes out. The 8 of Josh Tarrant Hill going around again. Take a look and see what happened to the 8. Yeah, there was that big slow up there.
Get on the apron.
Yep, I'm sure that's what Raymond Kimmel was trying to avoid happening. Let's back that up a little bit more and see what happened back there. So we saw Ronnie Hurst was a part of it. Brendan Cornoyer up top. Going to happen, I think, on this next lap here. Oh, that was Kimmel made contact there, and because everyone kept it straight enough, didn't trigger the iRacing caution. But again, that starts with Raymond Kimmel, who was just ahead of these guys. See it again already. In the process of and Kimmel trying to turn. No, that was never mind. Tarrant Hill was up further. Now, what I had noticed just before that caution had come out, something happened with Maxwell Caldwell that put him at the back of the field. Not sure what it was. I don't know if he had asked for an EOL, but why would you do that this late in the race? But Caldwell, who would have started third on that restart, is now down in 14th.
That is very weird.
Unless he got a speeding on exit penalty, which, I mean, there wasn't much pit lane left for him to speed on. Speeding on entry in iRacing comes with a 40-second stop in your box. A speeding on exit usually comes with a drive-through penalty to come back around to complete it within 3 laps, unless it's under caution, in which case you go to the end of the field. So if that's what happened with Caldwell there, because it doesn't show that he came in an extra time, so he must have got done for speeding on exit then.
I really would feel bad if it did come to that and he did speed coming off of pit road. But, I mean, it happens. There's nothing you can do about that. You can't change anything. But now we have the 7th Justin Lewis, who's been up front all night tonight, now has the lead on lap 90 out of 125. So there's like 35 laps to go. So we're winding down here. And right behind him is the 44 Steven Johnson. Remember, we saw the top 3 fall back a little bit. 44 was gaining. Now that he's in second, are we going to see him make a move to get to the lead?
Now, if he has a long-run car in that 44, I don't know if there's enough time, and especially now with it being as late in the race as it is, only 35 laps to go when we cross the line. Not sure if the patience is going to be with the same place it was working lap 35, but I don't know. This is really the time to find out whether or not Steven Johnson was holding back or if he's just got a really good long-run car here tonight. Jump on board here with Steven Johnson. In second place here thus far. Another big mover here in this race tonight. Austin Call sitting in the 4th position. And the man who hates pitting, Michael Matta, sitting in P5 right now. First of the Ford, so he has that. And at least as they sit right now at the moment, he will be the points leader coming out of this race, but still, we got a good amount of time left here at the fairgrounds.
We have a lot of time to go, but once again, I want to remind everybody these laps are going to start winding down if we do get a green flag run again. And keep an eye on that 44 because he's had a strong, long-run car. We're just going to see if he has enough time to get that lead and possibly win here. See the field bunching up, coming out of turn 4, getting ready to go back on this restart, lap 93.
Green flag is out. A great restart there from Justin Lewis. Steven Johnson clears second place. Trevor Dalton bouncing over the bumps on the inside line. Everyone keeping it straight for the moment as Dalton looking at the inside, trying to keep Austin Call at bay. Ooh, big wiggle.
I did see some pretty wide action back there a little bit. As you see right now, here it is again. The 16 of Michael Matta in the middle there is going to back out. That's going to allow the 92 of Flo, but he's loose.
Kept it straight, so we stay green, but Barrett Flo, who had almost worked his way up from getting spun earlier on by Johnny Wood Jr., getting loose, coming off of turn 2 into the inside wall. He has to do the work all over again. Chad Jones battling with Derek Wegman. This is for 10th as Wegman now back into the top 10 for the first time tonight since lap 1.
Lilith Peters there, currently 9th in that one machine.
Battle for the points lead right in front of her as well as Joshua Yarborough down on the bottom line. There goes Wegman to the high side. For Matta, it's been a combination of pace and also the fact that he has not come into pit. As Matta gets passed up, now Lilith Peters up into P8. And most importantly for her, at least, back into the points lead as Trevor Dalton looks to the inside of Steven Johnson for second.
27 on the inside there, trying to make a move for the 44 there, trying to get second there. As you see, they're side by side coming down the front straightaway. It looks like they're still going to be side by side.
Around goes Wegman in the back. Wegman around
green here.
Yep, kept it straight, kept it rolling. So Wegman now in the same boat as Barrett Flo, having to do it all over again, as now Steven Johnson has fallen out of second, may fall out of third, as Austin Call is there as well. He will clear Steven Johnson, and Johnson back into fourth.
Every driver here trying to get as many positions as possible with 25 laps to go here at the fairgrounds. Time is ticking now, as you see the 18 Austin Call working his way into the top 3 here.
Yeah, and Austin Call started in the 6th position, took an EOL at the start of the race, so started from the back. Highest position he's been in tonight here, P3, as the top 6 have all converged on each other. Justin Lewis, Trevor Dalton, Austin Call, Steven Johnson, Matthew McMeekin, and Johnny Wood Jr. all in the hunt for the win.
All in the hunt for the win. Indeed, see the 41 there, McMeekin. Currently P5, now under pressure from the 750. Johnny Wood Jr. looking to the inside, but he's going to stay right behind him.
Jump on board here with Johnny Wood Jr. Just hear the car bouncing over these bumps. It is not a calm ride in any stretch of the imagination around Nashville. Working the pedals, feeling the bumps. It is a physical ordeal here at the fairgrounds.
Very bumpy track for these drivers here. Working on lap 105 now as they cross the line here. Justin Lewis still in the lead. 27 of Trevor Dalton there.
Dalton still holding that second position as they get past Eric Schaus. Put him a lap down. As now Steven Johnson will look to do the same with McMeekin and Wood very hot on his heels, giving him a nice little shove there as well with McMeekin.
Very tight racing there in turns 1 and 2 from those 3 drivers there. The 44, 41, and the 750. As you see, they all make it past the 60 car. Schaus that is a lap down right now. And they're just trying to get to the 70 Justin Lewis.
Trevor Dalton with Austin Call right behind him, and Eric Schaus has opened the door a little bit for these guys to start racing and spread the field out. Justin Lewis clear by a second, or a little bit less than a second, to Trevor Dalton, who has been hot on his heels all race long. Austin Call worked his way up. Steven Johnson needs a long run, but this long run might be a little bit too short for the 44 to start making a move forward. And
well,
McMeekin
time is
and
getting
Wood.
short. Time's getting short for the 44 of Steven Johnson. He's praying probably for a caution right now, so he has another shot at it, but unfortunately, I don't see that happening anytime soon. They might prove me wrong. But I want to go back to Justin Lewis really quick. He's run short tracks in the Super Stock Late Model Series, and he won at these short tracks. So it doesn't surprise me that he's up here running for the win here with just 15 laps to go.
He has been dominant on Tuesday nights here. Tomorrow night, they will be at Hickory. Both the street stocks and the late model stocks will be at Nashville. Will be at Hickory, pardon me. Same thing with the Super Truck Series on Wednesday night. Dave Regal will be in the booth tomorrow. Myself, I will be in the booth on Wednesday. As Justin Lewis now starting to lose that lead a little bit, as Trevor Dalton starting to reel him in just a little bit. You see there on the bottom, it's been a couple of tenths a lap here, but with 12 to go, it's hard to pass. It might take him 12 laps to set up the pass, as he won't need to now with the caution coming out.
Now it's going to get interesting.
Raymond Kimmel once again happened here with Kimmel coming off of turn 4. It's Derek Wegman behind him, and Wegman tried to sneak into a position he couldn't quite fit in. You can see here, Wegman had a run. And found out the hard way, just like a teenager trying to fit through a tight gap. It wasn't quite wide enough.
4:12 of Kimmel just not having the night he wanted to have here at the fairgrounds. Now with just 11 laps to go here in the Nashville 420. 6th caution of the night.
Trevor Dalton will get racing with about 8 laps to go. Trevor Dalton has given up a 2nd position to pit for tires. Joshua Yarborough has come in as well, same as Michael Matta. Matta figured he hasn't pit yet tonight at all before this stop. But I find it really interesting that Trevor Dalton would give up a sure podium at the very least. Now he's sitting in 11th with probably 7-8 laps to go when we get racing here again.
Probably thinking, the drivers in front of him have pulled their tires, which is going to be a very good advantage to the 27 of Trevor Dalton. But again, is it going to be enough time? I really don't think there's going to be enough time for him to get up to the front here. So if it was me, I would have stayed in 2nd. But, you just never know. We could go into overtime.
Only one driver no longer participating in the race. That will be Adam Lowe, done after that spin on lap 80. Barrett Flo, Raymond Kimmel, Ronnie Hurst, Brendan Kornoyer, Josh Tarrant-Hill, all not on the lead lap. Josh Tarrant-Hill, if another caution were to come out, he will be the free pass recipient, and that would get him back on the lead lap. Justin Lewis, Austin Call, Steven Johnson, Matthew McMeekin, Johnny Wood Jr., Maxwell Caldwell, Lilith Peters, Chad Jones, Todd Merkel, and Johnathan Casebere are your top 10, and none of them came into pit under this caution. Trevor Dalton, as mentioned before, starting from P11 here, first driver on fresh tires, 7 laps to go here at Nashville. Justin Lewis from the outside line in control, green flag back in the air.
Justin Lewis gets a great launch on that restart. You see the 18 Boston Call and the 41. McMeekin makes contact with the 18. That makes it 3 wide with 44 Johnson to the inside.
Boy, Steven Johnson, ever the opportunist, gets a couple of spots there. Johnny Wood Jr. tried to follow through, couldn't quite do it. Spin in the back, that's Ronnie Hurst. We are going to stay green. And around goes Michael Matta now. This one will bring out the caution. And once again, poor Barrett Flo, who started from the pole here tonight, now 15 laps down, is going to go some more.
Not the outcome he wants here tonight. Nashville Fairgrounds not being really nice to him tonight. As you see, we take a look at this replay here.
Started out plenty nice. This is what happened with Ronnie Hurst off of turn 4, and then Michael Matta getting up into Johnathan Casebere, and Flo, Yarborough, Wegman, nowhere to go. So this will set up our first of 3 green-white checkered attempts here this evening. There's Josh Terrett-Hill getting back on the lead lap, so now 15 cars on the lead lap. What a night this has turned out to be. Just under an hour of racing as well. There's been a lot of action in this hour.
Been a lot of action indeed, and it's very exciting too, because I know you've been looking forward to this race.
Yes.
We had an off week, and now I know why you were looking forward to this race, because it's delivering a lot of excitement to us fans and broadcasters, and especially, I know not for all the drivers here tonight, but I'm sure the 7 of Justin Lewis is loving this right now.
It's what we wanted. This is what we waited for here from Nashville. 3 races to go after tonight. J&M Group Industrial Services 400 from the Indianapolis Motor Speedway, the Oval, coming up next Monday night. 80 laps there. Another 125 laps at Bristol Motor Speedway. The Tony Trapasso Memorial 500 will be our penultimate round of the season. And the Merkel Racing Engines 500, as it has done for the last at least 3 years since we broadcasted this series, will round out the season 100 laps on the old surface at Atlanta Motor Speedway. On the 18th of December, somebody will be having a very nice Christmas, I'm sure. And Justin Lewis, with his performance tonight, and the performances of Lilith Peters, who currently is sitting in 7th, and Michael Matta, who's been a non-factor in this race, might end up very close, if not in the points lead, come the end of the day.
That points lead is going to close for sure, and I feel like it's going to be between the 7, the 16, and the 1 of Lilith Peters, but again, I don't know. I think it's a little too early for me to say that, but that is just my early prediction here. As you see, 41 McMeekin on the inside, 7 on the outside, green flag in the air. 7 gets a good launch here.
Gives the 18 a great launch on the outside as well, but McMeekin looking to the inside. He's going to try to protect that second position. The run from the 18 is going to keep him on the outside, but only momentarily. White flag is in the air. Here at the Nashville Fairgrounds, Michael Matta goes sliding in the back. Justin Lewis is loving what he's seeing behind him. McMeekin, they cross over. His call looks to the inside. That's going to allow Steven Johnson to jump up to the outside, but it is going to be Justin Lewis taking the checkered flag here at Nashville. McMeekin second, Johnson sneaks into third.
Great job by the 7 of Justin Lewis, dominating the second half of this race, the most laps that counted here tonight as well. And look who's right behind him, the 41 of McMeekin, also having a wonderful night here. I haven't seen him in the top 3 in a long time. Great job from that team and organization right there. And right behind him is the 44 of Steven Johnson, who also had a very strong car during those long runs.
Hear from Steven Johnson for a second time tonight, as we will now hear from our race winner, as Justin Lewis now joins us. Justin, you've had a little bit of an iffy time this season, but boy, weren't you happy to see a short track come up, took full advantage of it, taking the win here tonight.
Hell yeah, I wanted that really bad. I know Iowa was good, had some luck there, and then here with Maxwell, I kind of pushed it off pit road, and I think I made him push it just a little bit too much. Got him to speed, which that right there basically threw it in for me. So I kind of felt like I'd be a top 3 car if we went green. I did not expect us to go green, but that was a hell of a race. Like I kind of wish it would have went green with me and Max there, because it was going to get really interesting. I was kind of saving my stuff. He was saving his stuff, and we were about to get to lap traffic. But yeah, we're 2 for 2 on the short tracks this year on Monday nights. We're killing it on Tuesdays, and we're trying to hang in there for a point battle on Wednesdays.
So you said you were kind of holding back a little bit. How difficult was it to pass or at least set up Max during that long green flag run to try to get a move done?
Pretty much impossible. I mean, like, unless he made a drastic mistake, which he rarely does, you weren't going to get him. So what I was trying to do was drive in higher to kind of diamond the corner and then slingshot off. But then you have to watch turn 2 and turn 4 because it just the way the car gets upset on the bottom groove coming off the corner, you'll just spin. So I was just trying to get a good run. There was a few times where I even just kept it float, like kind of almost ran a top line completely all the way around the corner, and I'd get a good run off the corner, but then you chip out on the rev limiter about right at the flag stand, so the run would die off. So that was what was really making it hard. There was a few times me and Max tap bumpers on accident. I didn't mean to get him. It was just his braking point was literally like 6 inches to a foot different than mine. So it was all track position. I mean, once we got going, we can kind of see he was good. I think Steven was coming there in that long run a little bit too, and then same thing with Trevor. He was on the move too, and when he pitted, I thought, that was a 50-50 ball in my opinion. Like if I pitted and no one would pit, or if someone else pitted, they'd all pit. That's what I thought would happen. Well, he tried it. He was the only one that pitted. It kind of saved the race for me too. So, yeah, this place is fun, man. Like I've only really ran a super late model here once or twice, the late model stock here a time or two, and nothing else really. But I'd highly recommend this place in this car with this setup we got. Shout out to Adam and Josh for getting a hell of a setup for this race, and I'm really proud of these guys for actually keeping a good show on. Like I did not expect it to go green, so like I said, just awesome job to everybody.
We go to the Oval at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway next week. What are your thoughts going back on another big track at Indy?
Well, if you remember last season when we won the championship there, that was one of those races that if it went green, I think I qualified on the pole, and it was me and Lilith Peters like checked out on the field, and then after green flag pit stops, I was really checked out on the field, and then we had a caution not too long after the pit stops. So basically, it threw a curveball in it, and I ended up wrecking with some slower guys and older tires, which took me out of contention. So we had like a 20th place run. But if it goes how I hope it will, hopefully we'll qualify on a pole again and take off like we did last season. So that could be a fun race. It's actually a little bit racier of a track than you think because it's more of a technicality. Like you got to be technical because it's basically 4 corners. Not like an oval where like the first corner sets you up for turn 2. It's you have to hit every corner right or you mess it up. So if you mess up into turn 1, you'll kill it off at turn 1, and then if you mess up into turn 2, you'll really kill it off at turn 2, and you can do that 4 times in that lap. So it's a fun place. I can't remember what else is left. I hope we can keep the short track thing up because apparently that's my thing this season for everything. But yeah, that was a fun race. I'm just shocked still we went that green.
All right. Anyone else you want to give a shout out to before we let you go?
Yeah, again, just SCL in general. Everybody that showed up tonight, they really did do their homework. We had a couple practices, especially with the off week. Looks like a lot of guys did utilize that time to at least to not wreck themselves most of the race. Of course, you guys, I'm sure had a good broadcast. I had it on above me, but I had it turned down quite a bit so I didn't wake my daughter up. And I can't wait to go back and watch that. And then, of course, as always, I got to thank Max, Austin, Todd. We had Trevor in the chat. We had Eric in the chat. I mean, we had a full lot tonight. So, and then, of course, Merkle Racing Engines, they jumped on board for all our series this season for me. So, shout out to him. Without him, we wouldn't have had the power to get off the corners here. I mean, this old Merkle Racing Engine Chevy was singing a fine tune. So I'm going to try to blow it up now and make him have some work to do for next Monday.
Fair enough. Your race winner here tonight, Justin Lewis, bud, congratulations.
Thanks, boys. See ya.
We'll move now to our second place finisher. That would be Matthew McMeekin. And Matthew, what a race you had here tonight. Very solid run. You were up in the top 5 for a good majority of the night, but still to come home with a second place finish, that's pretty big. Matthew, you there?
Hello.
Yep, I hear you now. Uh, Saying a very solid night for you, being up in the top 5 here most of the night and coming away with a second place. Not all that bad. Oh, I heard you there for a second. All right, let's give Matt a moment here to try to work out whatever kinks he has going on there. Now we'll bring in for the second time tonight Steven Johnson, ever the opportunist, laid on in the race, getting a couple of positions. Great run though with Austin Call there to nab that podium.
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate it. Yeah, it was a good run. I really didn't think I was going to do very well here. Like I was saying, short tracks aren't really my style. So I was glad I was able to hang on to it and make something happen.
You were one of the drivers that seemed to really benefit on that longer run. What was it about that long run that just made your car seem so much faster than everyone else's?
Well, I was just being really patient. Everybody was starting to take off really hard, and I kind of noticed that. So I let those first three guys take off, and I was just waiting on the tires. And after we did like 20 laps, I started seeing myself catch them. So I figured that was the way to go. I wish we would have had another long run like we had up front, but like I said, I'm just glad I was able to bring it home because short runs are not my friend, and neither are short tracks.
We go to Indianapolis next week, the Oval in Indianapolis. What are your thoughts going into that race?
Let's see. Last season, I don't think I did too well. I just didn't have the speed overall. I don't know what I'm gonna have to do here in the next week to practice and change that. I do like the track, but it just doesn't seem to fit me with these next gens. So, like I said, hopefully we can get some good practice in, and I can make something happen next week. We'll see.
Anyone you want to give a shout out to before we let you go?
Yeah, any friends and family that checked out the stream, thank you all so much, and thank you guys in the booth for always commentating these great races and dealing with us when we have caution fests. And it's always a great time, and it's always great to go back and look at. So thank you a lot, and thank you to anybody who's checking out SCL.
It is absolutely our pleasure. Our third place finisher here tonight, Steven Johnson. Bud, congratulations.
Thanks. Hope to see you again soon.
All right, and now we will go try again with our second place finisher. Matt, you there? Hello, hello. See him working on something. Matthew McMeekin, you got us? All right, something unfortunately is going on with his mic. We'll try to get a word in with him before Indianapolis next week. But Daniel, what a race we saw here tonight. A lot of fun, and you said during the break, now I'm starting to understand why this was the one that you really wanted to see, and it did not disappoint.
It didn't disappoint at all, and it was great packed racing. Actually going on throughout the whole night. You saw drivers side by side door banging each other. You saw that bump that we were talking about in turn 2 causing some issues for a few drivers, but we did see Caldwell. He was up in the front for the first half of this race. Unfortunately, I do believe he did get black flag, put him in the back, so that allowed the 7 to Justin Lewis, who's also been in the front. But I mean, the 7 just dominated after the 94 got that black flag. So it was really good racing for him. I'm very excited for the 41 McMeekin, who also got a very strong run out of here tonight. And now that we're done here at the fairgrounds, I'm excited to go to Indianapolis because that is going to be another race to look forward to.
It certainly is. And Indianapolis always puts on a very, very good show. And I'm sure these drivers are looking forward to it just the same. Right now, we'll take a look here at the finishing results here for tonight's race. Justin Lewis takes home his second win of the season. Matthew McMeekin, Steven Johnson, your top 3. Austin Call slid it, trying to push to get back up into that third spot. Coming out of turn 4 will finish 4th. Maxwell Caldwell, again, after the pit road speeding penalty on exit, rebounds for 5th. Chad Jones, Lilith Peters, Todd Merkel, Eric Schaus, Johnny Wood Jr., your top 10. Trevor Dalton, Josh Tarrant-Hill, Johnathan Casebere, Joshua Yarborough, and Michael Matta up to 15th.
Rounding
Sorry,
outside the top
I'm sorry.
15. 16. Oh, go ahead.
That's fine. I'm sorry. I completely blanked there for a second. Derek Wegman, Ronnie Hurst, Brendan Cordoyer, Parrot Flo, Raymond Kimmel, and Adam Lowe round out the field here tonight. Thank you for picking that up, though. That will do it for us here tonight from the Nashville Fairgrounds. For my broadcast partner, Daniel Paulus, I'm Frank Marchese. Thank you very much for making us a part of your evening. And, of course, as always, if as you walk down the road of life, please don't play in traffic. Good night.